What's going on, everybody? This is Kincaid, and in today's video, I'm going to be dialing in my new bike for 2023. In case you missed the first ride video, I picked up a 2022 KTM 350 XCF Factory Edition. This is hands down the nicest bike I've ever owned and has kind of been my dream bike for a long time. I did not buy it brand new. I bought it with just 4 hours on it for what I think was a screaming deal. I paid $9,400 for the bike, and it already has bib mousses installed both front and rear, a radiator fan, titanium pegs, and the bike came with a Get ECU that is not currently installed, which has a $900 MSRP. So needless to say, I'm stoked, and there are very few upgrades I need to make to this bike. I did already install my Enduro Engineering handguards, and I was stoked that the bike already came with bar ends as well. So on the bench here, I have some fresh parts from AXP Racing. I've got a standard skid plate, which will be useful on the motocross track and for more mellow trail riding. I've got the Extreme skid plate, which is the skid plate that I've ran on all my bikes for the last few years. This linkage guard is badass. Not only does it protect the linkage, but it allows you to slide right over logs and keep your momentum. Super, super rad skid plate. I've also got a rear disc guard, which I think is really, really important for off-road. Personally, I think the rear disc guard is much more important than a front disc guard, and on most of my bikes in the past, I haven't even ran a front disc guard. This KTM comes stock with one, so I don't see a reason to remove it, but this is an essential add-on. AXP also sent over this super beefy chain guide, which I'm looking forward to installing. If you are in need of some new protection parts for your bike, I would highly recommend AXP Racing. You can check them out by clicking the link on screen or in the description. I'm super excited to get these parts bolted up. Let's do it. A little bit of leftover mud from the first ride. And boom, AXP Extreme skid plate bolted up. Check out that water pump protection. Nice protection over here on the stator side as well. For this, I do need to break the chain to get the OEM chain guide off, so I went ahead and just pre-configured this chain guide. Bolts right up using the OEM hardware. And then for even further protection, AXP offers this piece, which protects your swing arm tabs as well. Quick, easy mount up. Chain guide's fully bolted up. Looking beefy. This rear disc guard, it just slides right in. Fit the guard into its slot. Easy as that. We're installed after just a couple bolts. There you have it. We have got one very well protected KTM. So a couple more days have passed, and I spent the weekend absolutely ripping this bike with my buddies. We made some sweet turn tracks out at Raidersburg and Pipestone here in Montana. The bike now has 9.2 hours on the meter, and in the 5 hours I've ridden it, I have decided that I am not a seat bump guy. It's not horrible, but for my riding style, it doesn't really add anything, and there are some negatives. If I'm trying to wheelie the bike, I find that's right where I want to sit. And for whoops and things like that, if you get kicked at all, that bump hits me right in the butt. So for that reason, I am going to remove the seat bump. We'll do an oil and air filter change. And I've got a brand new set of plastics because my fresh graphics from DeCal Works will be here soon. Not only do I want to customize the bike, being my race bike for the season, but I'd like to keep these factory edition plastics in good shape for potential resale. Check out how much I wear through an airbox panel in just 3 rides. Apparently I grip the bike pretty hard. All right, seat bump removed. I had a difficult time getting this bolt installed for the new rear fender, so I removed the muffler to aid in that installation. And while I'm this far disassembled, I'm thinking about taking the header off and seeing if I can torch it blue. It is not steel, so I don't know if it'll work or not. Guys, I know all the dirt bikes have come a long way, but Is there any manufacturer that makes it as easy as KTM to change an air filter or install a seat? Quality engineering. Look what arrived today. Got my Moscow Mule for some Thursday night graphic application. DeCal Works killed it, as always. I can't say that enough. Every time DeCal Works graphics show up at my door is a good day. I also really love these mini number plates they send. I slap them all over homies' bikes to make them mad. Super nice to just have little last name decals. Way stoked. DeCal Works, you crushed it. I will be using the DeCal Works application kit for this, as I do for every graphics install. Honestly, it takes me a similar amount of time to install graphics with this kit as doing it without, but I end up with significantly less air bubbles. In fact, I'm getting so good, sometimes I end up with none. Let's see how the KTM turns out. The application kit is a super simple process. It's 3 sets of fluid. This removes old adhesive and decal residue. This cleans up all of the wax and silicone residue on plastics. This step is particularly important for new plastics. Actually, the first time I ever installed graphics, I didn't know this was a thing. I installed graphics on brand new plastics without first cleaning the new plastics. And they did not stick well at all, because brand new plastics actually have a little bit of wax or silicone residue from the molding process. So it's super important to get that off before installing graphics, and that's where step 2 comes in. Finally, we've got step 3, which you pretty much just spray down on the sticky part of the graphic and the plastic. That allows you to wet apply the graphic, slide it into place, put it where you want it, and then you can start using the heat gun and squeegee to get all of that fluid out, and then you've got a perfect graphic installation. That is, of course, the method I used on this YZ300 as well, and there are about 90 entries remaining for a chance to win this bike. All right. I'm sorry, there's so much to talk about. Let's get these graphics installed. A little bit of step 3. One beautiful graphic down, about 15 more to go. This might require a couple Moscow Mules. Damn, dude, holy shit. This is a good looking dirt bike. Oh. For the seatbelt, I usually go 3/4 Uggy Duggy. Uggy Duggy. Yep, that's where we stop. The next graphic is pretty special. Everybody has heard the term, still gonna send it at some point now, but this phrase has an extra special meaning to me. My friend Matt Tixon, a few years ago in the St. Anthony sand dunes, riding under questionable conditions, dropped off a dune, broke his back, and lost the ability to walk. And that was the first person I knew personally to go through something like that. And I thought, man, this guy is a fun, loving human who loves to do action sports. Like, how's he gonna handle this? And I'll be honest, I see what I see on social media, and that's the majority of, you know, my connection with him at this point. But the dude seems to be absolutely crushing it. Like any adaptive sport there is, it seems he's done now. And it seems like he's still just loving life the same. And for that, he's a daily inspiration for me. And the story behind Still Gonna Send It is after Matt woke up in the hospital, he was intubated, he couldn't speak, he was told what happened and the condition he was in, and Matt motioned for a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, he scribbled, "Still gonna send it," in this exact handwriting. This is the shirt they made for a GoFundMe after Matt's accident. So anyway, Still Gonna Send It goes on all of my bikes in honor of Matt. Also guys, the grips that came on this bike have some excess girth for my preference. And now seeing the rest of the bike together, you can decide if you think this was a good move or not. We're going white. Yeah. All right, since I filmed that clip, I actually went riding, and I cannot believe how big of a difference a set of grips makes. That really was like the finishing touch to make it feel like mine. Riding with the big grips, I felt fine, but not until I had a set of grips that I really liked and really enjoyed the feel of did I feel really in tune with the motorcycle. So, goes to show the little things matter. Also, I'm pretty happy with white. I think it looks good. And we've got one more often overlooked part to install, radiator guards. Crunching a radiator 30 miles from the truck is never fun. So AXP Racing coming in clutch again. Let's get these installed. The installation of these braces is crazy easy. You literally remove the 2 louver bolts as well as the 2 bolts for the shroud, and then simply slide the new guard into place with some longer bolts. The kit does come with longer bolts, but they are Allen. I grabbed a couple hex head bolts out of my box just because I think they're a little quicker and 8 mils are more accessible. And just like that, you're installed. Super simple design. Honestly, some of the most simple yet effective radiator braces I have seen. Really nice just being able to bolt them on like that. I've got a set from Bulletproof Designs coming as well for those muddy conditions. At no fault of the AXP braces, I'm not a big fan of how the stock louvers collect mud. So my KTM is now dialed and ready for a great season of riding. Please go show some love to the companies that supported this project. I'm very fortunate to be working with these companies directly now, but these are all companies that I've been buying parts from for years because I truly believe in the products they make. With all this said, let's take a look at this girl now that she's all finished up and take her for a ride.